Welcome to Marketecture, where you can get smart fast with in-depth interviews with leading technology vendors. I'm Ari Paparo. I'm here with a team from Intent IQ. We have Dror Ben-Yashani, the CTO. I may have screwed your name up a little bit.
Dror Ben-Yashani. Yeah,
And,
almost.
and Roy Skedi?
Skedi, almost.
Skedi. All right. My Ivrit is not so good.
Wow, we speak Hebrew. We can have it in Hebrew.
Yeah, that would be a first. That would really improve the ratings of the show. But Roy, you're the chairman of Intent IQ, is that right?
I am.
Okay, great. So Intent IQ is an identity resolution company. So what does that mean? Tell us what the product is in brief.
So Intent IQ is, do you want me to go into a little bit about the background to seconds
Sure,
about Intent IQ? So Intent IQ is a subsidiary of the Analyst Group. It was founded in 1998. We have two operating subsidiaries. One is Datonics, one of the leading independent data marketplaces with data available at all the platforms. The other is Intent IQ, which we'll talk about in a second. In addition to that, we have over 150 granted patents covering cornerstones of targeted advertising. Last but not least, we deeply care about privacy. We're the people that invented the eye choices that you see in every banner on the top right side. Took us a few years to convince the industry, but thanks to Yahoo that stepped in and then AI that adopted it. We are where we are with that. As to Intent IQ, what's unique about Intent IQ, it's being powered by a real-time dynamic device graph, an identity device graph. When people think typically about device graph, they think either about it, the deterministic one or the probabilistic one. And typically on the probabilistic one, they think it's about the typical company will take, a truth set of 5 million different devices that has know the connection between the devices, analyze it and extrapolate to the world. This is not Intent IQ. Intent IQ and Intent IQ believe that the only thing which is constant is actually change. So we are monitoring the entire digital landscape across devices, across APs, how many different devices this device visits. So basically, we are mapping in real time. We're asking ourselves, what's the device? When you're at home, when you're in the office, when are you out and about? And in real time, we're constantly keeping this mapped dynamic alive. So we have mapped the vast majority of the broadband household in the US, over 150 million households in the US and Canada. Very few offices, the people living in their devices, and it's all privacy friendly. We have no PIR. And we do it across changing IPs, changing cookies, no cookies, maids, no maids. So this is our, if you like, our secret sauce. That's what's powering us. And actually, that's what's powering many of the large companies in the space. You just don't know it because they're white labeling our technology.
Here's what I heard you said. You have a dynamic graph that is changing all the time based on signals about households and individuals and is privacy safe. So let's unpack that. Okay, what is the source of the data? Like, where is the graph coming from?
So we have the only thing we're relying. So this is not a fingerprint. Okay, let me start. Let me just go straight to the source. This is not a fingerprint. We don't have any JavaScript or SDK that connects tens of different. No, none of that. The only thing we look at is the IP address, user agent, and either third-party cookie we made or first-party ID, like a first-party cookie. And as I said, we're able to identify even though the IP address changed and the user agent changed. And as we know, a fingerprint is something which is steady. So this is not this. We have a lot of signals. We are powering one of the top 5 DSPs. We're powering, and this is just example of our clients. So we have a lot of signals that we're seeing. We have our own DSP, which we're using mainly for our own sources. I think, Joe, how many cookie syncs a day do we say?
Right. So I think we're doing like 1 billion syncs per day. And generally speaking, most of the data coming from partners that are pushing their data, sometimes in a log file, like RTB data, sometimes billions of data points per day. And connecting all those dots together, it's actually feeding this identity engine. That's what makes it so accurate. Obviously, those are the sources. So
in a sense, it's like a data co-op in a sense, in that your customers are providing you with bid logs and log files of the exposed advertising.
So the approach is they want to expand their private graph, augmenting the public graph, which comes from a network of partner and using a lot of public data. But once they have their own type of data, it's actually proprietary for them, and they are the only one getting it, like a clean white room or clean room. So in a sense, we're building their private graph, and each one has their own unique, dedicated, encrypted bucket where they get the data. But it's also relying on a lot of other data points, a lot of deterministic data points, like 1.4 billion hashed email tied to one of those IDs, either a cookie or made. So it's got a lot of data coming in.
Right. So your partners are giving you the raw data from various sources, and then you run an algorithm on it to identify the households and users within those households. A
lot of algorithms. So it's actually a layer of algorithms. Some of them are behavioral algorithms. Actually, I like to think about ourselves as a pioneer in identity, solving so many problems in the last 10 years. And combination of deterministic data with a massive stack of machine learning and AI actually composes the outcomes of very accurate deterministic data, along with a lot of probabilistic data. But the end result is being able to provide such a high accuracy. And I don't know, Ray mentioned that, but we're not actually, we haven't explained it. The way we measure accuracy is not by saying, okay, that's my accuracy. We're actually measuring deterministically. And whenever we're doing a POC, we're telling, okay, do you have deterministic set of data? Like you have 4% of your user, take those 4% and use it as your control group and understanding exactly the accuracy of the graph.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So when we're talking about being privacy safe and not being fingerprinting, I just kind of want to explore those things because it sounds a little bit like fingerprinting. Like if you're taking IP address, a bunch of other sources and turning it into an ID, explain to me why that's not fingerprinting or why it is privacy safe.
Because, when you create a fingerprint, think about the word. You need to compose different elements and create a key, right? So let's say I'm taking the IP, let's say I'm taking the user agent, cookies, anything on the web, creating a key, right? So the second one of those elements changes, the key is broken. Like there are companies claiming they have a attribution platform, but they claim, I'm quoting them, on the first 24 hours, we're going to have up to like 95%. After 24 hours, we drop to 60%. And after 72 hours, it drops to below 40. This is pure fingerprinting. If you take apart all those elements and you tie them together in a learning machine, learning to address those changes and combining deterministic data to amplify your ability, then you take a different approach without going under the hood. So for instance, I think we're one of the only one in the industry knowing to cluster first-party ID. When you search Safari, there are 50 different domains. Each one of them is unique and different from the other, and there is nothing tying them together. There is no glue. That's what ITP is carrying to the world, right?
Right.
And our engine is actually doing behind the scene this stitching and connecting them. There are a lot of mathematical there, but again, if it was fingerprinting, it was breaking after a day or two. We are giving attribution and providing a 6 months look back window. Think about it, 6 months. We're committing to 6 months time.
Ari, that's a cross-changing IP, changing user agent. And we check ourselves with 4 million different deterministic samples every 24 hours. This is not the truth set. 4 million different deterministic samples. So we know that our accuracy fluctuates between 92 and 97%.
Thanks for listening. To hear the complete interview, subscribe at marketecture.tv.